Patrick Vivalo. I'm the VP of Sales for Esteban Carreras Cigars. We're here at Silo Cigars doing a fantastic cigar event today. Our friends Kevin and Paul invited me to do an event. We're a newer brand here in the store, but people have really been taking on the cigar. We've got some great specials today, and just here to have a good time, smoke some good cigars, and just hang out.
Okay, Patrick, tell us a little bit about the history of the name Esteban Carreras and why that name was chosen.
Well, the history of the name Esteban Carreras. Esteban Carreras was a guy in Cuba back in the late 50s, early 60s, who was a pivotal individual in Cuba. Well, according to the government, he was more of a vigilante. The government didn't like what he was doing. When Castro took over in Cuba, he was knocking on everybody's door that owned a cigar company and said, now that's a national brand. The country of Cuba now owns your cigar company. Romeo Julieta, A. Chapman, and Partagas, they were all individual brands owned by families up until when Castro took reign in the early 60s. So what Esteban Carreras did is he kind of gathered all the small tobacco growers, manufacturers, and try to get as many people as possible and move them further away from Havana in order for them to still be able to make their own cigars and keep it as a family business. When Kennedy took office, he wanted to expedite Esteban Carrera to the United States. Unfortunately, that never happened. He was captured by the Cuban government, and 3 days after he was captured, he died of natural causes. To the Cubans, he doesn't exist, but to those who lived in Cuba that knew about him, he's kind of like an unsung hero. And to tell you a little bit about the brand, we started out 4 years ago making cigars, and we started off with our Connecticut line, our Cameroon line, and a couple other lines that we do not produce anymore. Getting back to the 4 lines, we have a great factory that we're partners with in Nicaragua with Abdel Fernandez, and he's making our Diez Años and our Vivalo cigars.
You tell us a little bit more about the cigars.
Esteban Carreras cigars, we have 4 lines of cigars. Our Connecticut line and our Cameroon line are done in Dominican Republic by La Aurora. Our fuller bodied cigars, which are our Diez Años and our Habano line, are manufactured in our factory down in Esteli, Nicaragua by Abdel Fernandez. For those of you who do not know the name of Abdel Fernandez, he's 5 years removed from Cuba. He was a protege of Alejandro Baena. He's known as the godfather of Cuban cigars. So everything that this kid's learned is under Alejandro Baena. Everything from the fermentation process to the blending, and pretty much everything he knows about tobacco he learned from the best, basically. So we feel very lucky to have Abdel down in Nicaragua producing our fine cigars. The Diez Años is our flagship cigar. It's a medium to full-bodied cigar with a 10-year-old Maduro wrapper, 6-year-old filler and binder. Medium to full body, but very full flavored, complex, rich. Has a very nice aroma to it. We've been getting some good ratings from some of the cigar magazines. Our Habano line's our newest cigar. They're all big ring gauge cigars for the guys who like the big ring gauge cigars. We have 6 sizes, are all 52 plus ring gauges. We have a natural Habano and a Maduro Habano. Each are very unique in their own different ways, even though they have the same filler and binder. The natural wrapper gives it more of a Cuban-esque spicy flavor to it, and the Maduro version is a very full-bodied, full-flavored powerhouse. So basically, the Cigar Rights of America was formed about a year ago. We're trying to gain membership so we can get enough money to have a lobbyist in Washington, D.C. It's very expensive to have a lobbyist in D.C., so we need as much support as possible. All the cigar smokers out there, all the manufacturers out there, all the retailers out there are eligible to join. For an individual membership, it's $35 a year, or you can do a lifetime membership. It's up to you how much you want to support the Cigar Rights of America. This basically is our last line of defense as cigar smokers. With Obama passing the S chip with 40 cents a cigar across the country, each individual state keeps increasing their taxes. The CRA is here to help protect the cigar smokers' rights in order to prevent future smoking bans, future increases in taxes. It's a very important institution geared for cigar smokers. Prior to the CRA, we really didn't have a united group to take on these, individual states and the government to stop and to help prevent future increases in taxes. Basically, it's very important to me. Everybody out there who enjoys a cigar, whether it's one a day or one a week or 5 a day, we should all join the Cigar Rights of America. And if you want to learn more information about it, you go to cigarrights.org.